This show just concluded its second season. It's available to watch on Stars. I'm not getting my hopes up too high about a third season. Now, I'm a little bit hopeful, but as I say on almost every show that I do, where I talk about shows and movies, that you expect another season to come, and then boom, the networks cancel it. We saw this with One of Us is Lying. We saw it with The Endgame. Eye Candy, a number of shows that I've talked about on here that I really, really wish would have continued. Even like The Following or the TV show for What You Did Last Summer, all of that stuff. Now, I think that the show has a pretty good cast. The cast so the main characters are the Phelps family. So you have Dad, Terry, Mom, Patricia, daughter, Gaynor, and son, Jake. And they're all played by Greg Kinnear, Courteney Cox, Gus Birney, and Dylan Gage, respectively. Then you also have some other characters in here like Rosemary, played by Mira Sorvino. You have Robin Court, played by Sherilyn Fenn. Cam, played by Marin Dungy. I don't know which one. Again, there's always a name on here I don't know how to pronounce. There's always one name, always that one. You have Catherine, played by Alysia Reiner. Ryan He, played by Derek Liu. Valerie He, played by Susan Park. Dr. Bird, played by James M. Connor. And Laird, played by Parvish Cheena. Now, here's the Google synopsis of it, and then I'll get into Common Sense Media because, as you all know, that's one of my favorite websites. It's one of the best when it comes to really breaking down shows, movies, games, and other things. So right here, it says, a dysfunctional family moves from the city to a small town after Patricia, a former wild child who became famous through writing a raunchy female empowerment novel, is caught cheating on her husband. In an attempt to rebuild their family, they move into a house where terrible atrocities have taken place. Nobody seems to suspect anything odd except for Patricia, who is convinced she's either depressed or possessed. But soon, the demons haunting the family's new home begin to appear much more real. The show came out in 2022. It's a Stars original. Most of the ratings on this show are pretty good. I've seen one low number, and right now, between Internet Movie Database, Rotten Tomatoes, and Google users. So Internet Movie Database and Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 70 and a 71 respectively. And from Google users, we see 48 to 88%. I've never seen I know it's Google, so it's mixed. So it's I've never seen a gap that big. I usually see 70 to 80, 80 to 90, even if it's lower numbers and it's very, very unpopular. Let's say it's something that most people think is bad. Let's say 10 to 20, 20 to 30. But I've never seen 48 to 88. That just a little odd to me. It kind of threw me off there. Now, Common Sense Media. And again, this is just based off the first two seasons because, again, we don't know if there's going to be a third season. Again, a lot of us are hopeful, but I wouldn't be surprised if they cancel it. I would not be surprised. Just wait. They might cancel it. They might, because you just can't tell with these networks anymore, whether it's streaming services or television networks. So whether it's a Netflix or a Hulu or Peacock, or if it's an NBC or TBS or CBS or MTV, it doesn't matter. At this point, I just learned to expect a lot less. So as far as any positive messages in this show, very little. Mental health and the way women are treated when it comes to mental illness is a major theme. So is family. Other themes include Christianity, spiritism, and hauntings. Are there any positive role models? A little. Patricia is dysfunctional, and her husband Terry is exceptionally patient and forgiving. Patricia claims that her son Jake is her favorite and isn't always very nice to her daughter Gaynor. The overall family still cares about each other, even if they don't show it very often. And yeah, they are very dysfunctional, to say the least. They are. The mother and the daughter, there's a lot of tension right there. It's it's almost like they're just a few steps away from hating each other. It's almost to that point. Let's see. As far as the violence in the show, there's plenty of violence here. The stories of the haunted house relates to a violent episode. Bloody and sometimes gruesome injuries are shown. Suicide is a major theme, and people are shown attempting it. Now here's how Common Sense Media breaks down the story. Shining Vale is a comedy-infused horror mystery. It's also a suspense thriller, featuring a family that leaves Brooklyn and ends up in a haunted house in Connecticut. After author and recovering alcoholic Patricia Phelps has a fling with the family's handyman, her patient husband Terry insists that they leave Brooklyn and start over. They move with Gaynor and Jake, their son and daughter Gaynor, and tech-addicted son Jake into an old house in the small town of Shining Vale, Connecticut, to start their new life. But the house has a terrible past, and soon Patricia begins to see the ghost of a 1950s housewife named Rosemary, played by Mira Sorvino. Not sure if Rosemary is an actual ghost, a muse, or a figment of her unconscious resulting from taking antidepressants freely prescribed by the couple's therapist. Patricia attempts to finish her second novel while her family continues to adjust to their new life and her strange behavior. Now, is it any good? Now, my personal rating on the show is I would say that the show I can give it a 9. I'll give the show about a 9. And again, it's a little bit biased because I love almost anything that's suspenseful, thrilling, mysterious, a little bit horrific, all that type of stuff. This bizarre series attempts to combine humor and horror to create a unique viewing experience, but doesn't full succeed at either. I think I meant fully succeed, but okay, I get the gist. While there are some lighthearted moments and some horror film-inspired camera work and jump scares, it's just not particularly funny or scary. I think there were some laughable moments in there. Nonetheless, what Shining Vale does offer is an insightful storyline that highlights the sexism that exists in the field of mental health. It also underscores how women who are dissatisfied with their lives or struggling to conform to patriarchal expectations of society have been historically victimized by it. But thanks to some uneven writing and the jarring way Shining Vale's presents the sequence of events, some viewers may find it too difficult to stick with in order to fully appreciate these messages. Those who do may find the overall show compelling. Talk to your kids about these things. Families can talk about the way people struggling with mental health issues are portrayed in films and on TV. What stereotypes have been historically used to represent the mentally ill? Has this improved over the years? What is the real horror story that's being told in Shining Vale? If given the opportunity, would you tell it differently? So that about sums it up right there. And I don't want to give too much away, but again, there's a lot of humor to it. And I think that Greg Kinnear, Courteney Cox, and the rest of the cast did an amazing job with this. And again, all I can say is, see, if it wasn't for those other shows that got canceled, I would have said that there's an 80-90% chance that there's going to be a third season. But considering how many other shows have been canceled, I'm going to go with, you know what? At this point, and this might sound a bit pessimistic or negative, but at this point, I'm expecting a 30 or 40% chance they'll get renewed because I just don't trust these networks anymore. They're just canceling all these really good shows. And it's like, just keep it going. I know it's selfish on my part, but it's like, I really like it. I just wish it'd keep going. At best, I can say half and half. It's a half and half. It's really a flip of a coin. It's a coin toss. I don't know if it's going to get another season, but there are some sources like, I think TV Guide, Hollywood Insider, a number of sources are saying like, hey, we're very hopeful about... Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. There's a video playing there. So I would say, if you've seen the show, comment and tell me what you think about it. And also like and subscribe to this channel here, because I got plenty of shows and movies to talk about. And if you haven't seen the show, check it out. I'll put the trailer to the show in the comment section. If you don't have access to Stars, I would suggest, signing up, get the free trial. And I don't know if you're able to watch 2 seasons in a week, but right now they have a deal where you can get the Stars $25 for 6 months. So keep in mind, that $25 covers the 6 months. It's not $25 per month. If that was the case, I wouldn't have it. So either way, I suggest check the show out and let me know what you think.